Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Danial bin Ahmad Hilmie from group EE2413E, and this is my mini project video presentation for ECE431. Okay, first of all, let's look at the question of mini project that had been given for me. Okay, so this is my question, and the equation that I've got is fx equal to sec x plus cot x, and the range of x is between 1 and 160.5, and the step of x is 0.5. This question consists of 4 parts, which is part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Okay, for part 1, this program will calculate the values of fx and x based on the range of x given by user. And for part 2, it consists of 3 more filters: filter 2.1, filter 2.2, and filter 2.3. All these filters is used to obtain the final value of fx, or denoted as f final x. And for part 3 is used to store all the data from part 2 into a file. So this part 3 is used to store the data into a file, and if user want to display all the data, the program will ask the user to enter the range of x. And for the last part, which is part 4 is the analysis of data. In part 4, all the values of f final x will be divided into 5 quantiles, and for each quantile, the program will get to display the average, the standard deviation, and the maximum and minimum of the value of f final x. Okay, now let's look at our flowchart. Okay, so this is the flowchart of this program. When the program is start, user will be asked to enter the option, either option 1, option 2, option 3, and option 4. For option 1, the program will calculate the value of fx and x, and then it continue to option 2. When user choose option 2, the program will calculate the result of 3 filters, which is filter 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, as I said before. For filter 2.1, it will calculate the lowest value for the first and last 50 values of fx, and minus to each other, and minus from each of fx. And for filter 2.2, it will calculate the highest last 100 values of fx, and will add from each of fx. And for the last filter is the standard deviation. The program will calculate the standard deviation of first 100 values of fx and minus from each of fx. Next, it will proceed to case 3. In case 3, this program will save all the data from part 2. And if user want to display all the data, user just need to enter the range of x that will be asked by the program. And for the last option, option 4 is used to divide the value of f final x into 5 quantiles, and each quantile is used to calculate the range, the standard deviation, and the maximum and minimum value of f final x. Okay, if all the value is entered by user is correct, the program will flow like this, and user will be asked to enter the lower value and the upper value within the range of 1 and 160.5. If the value entered by the user is correct, is true, the program will proceed to perform the calculation and the program will be end. But if the value entered by the user is false at this part, the program will display this notification to the user. It will display lower range must be smaller than the upper range. The program will notify the user. Then it will ask the user again to enter the lower value and the upper value again. And if the value is correct, if the range is correct, it will perform the calculation. Okay, now let's look at our coding. So this is the coding of this program, and let's copy and paste it in the compiler. Now let's paste it in the compiler. Okay, so this is the compiler that I use. Slow. Okay, this is the online compiler C++. You can, if you want to use this compiler, you can search it on Google or other website. Now let's just paste it. Okay, now let's run this coding. And so here is the result of our coding. Looks there is no error and the coding function well. Okay, for this is the main menu of our program. User will be asked to choose either option 1, 2, 3 or 4. So let's try option 1. Option 1 is the program asks the user to enter the value, the range of x. It will generate the value of fx for all value of x. So option 1, just choose. And looks here. The program asks the user to enter the range between 1 until 160.5. So the lower value we put it as 10, and the upper value let's make it 100. Okay, so this is the result of option 1. The lower value is 10 and the upper value is 100, and it will display correct as the range entered by the user is correct. So this is the result of option 1. Okay, now let's go through option 2. Okay, as I said before, option 2 has three more option or three more filter. Okay, let's try filter 1. Filter 1, it will get the lowest value of the first 50 and the last 50 values of fx and minus from each of fx. Okay, so this is the result for filter 2.1. This result is obtained based on the values of x that we have entered at option 1. So this is the result. Okay, now let's try option 2. Let's try filter 2. Okay, option 2, filter 2. At filter 2, it will get the highest value of the last 100 values of fx and add to each of fx. Okay, now let's try filter 2. Okay, so this is the result of filter 2. Okay, look here. Option selected is 2, which is option 2, and the program asks to select the filter that we want to apply. So we choose filter 2. So this is the result of filter 2. And now let's go to the last filter, which is filter 2.3. Okay, option 2. Okay, now let's enter 3. In filter 3, it will get the standard deviation of the first 100 values of fs and minus from each of fs. Okay, so this is the result of filter 3. Okay, now let's all this filter we had tried, and is the program is function. Now let's try option number 3. Okay, for option number 3, it is used to save the data from part 2 into a file. Look here, the program displays save in file, so all the data in part 2 is saved in file, and the program asks user to insert the range between 1 and 160.5 to be extracted from the file. So the lower range, let's enter S10, and the upper range 100. So this is the result of the value that we want to be extracted from the file. And now let's go to the fourth or the last part, which is option 4. In option 4, it will option 4 is analysis of data. It will calculate it will divide all the values of fx into 5 quantiles, and it will get the average, standard deviation, maximum and minimum values of f final x. Okay, as we can see here, this is for first quantile, and this is for second quantile, and this is for third quantile, and this is the fourth quantile, and for the last this is the fifth quantile. The result is divided into 5 quantiles: quantile 1, quantile 2, quantile 3, quantile 4, and quantile 5. And as we can see here, for each quantile, the program calculate the average, the standard deviation, and the maximum and minimum values of f final x. Okay, so we had tried all the options above, and now let's exit to the main menu by pressing 0. Okay, the program is exited. So the program is function well and no error. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.